Good morning, everybody. I'm glad to be here with all of you today on the ceremony of Ikami Konko Daijin Sama, our grand ceremony. I have things that I'd like to talk with you and discuss with you. But first, I have to start with a question. Have you ever heard of the saying, adversity builds character? What would you think about if I told you that adversity builds faith? Adversity and suffering are two of the fundamental things that help us start and develop faith as a people. You see, we've all experienced hardships, difficulties, and setbacks, but it's through those that we have desperation. And through our desperation, it allows us to move forward and actually develop our faith more. When faced with no other choices or options for us, we all take the time to actually spend our time to turn towards prayer, faith, and hope. Because in our last desperation moments, we seek out Kami-sama. And in those moments, when we seek out Kami-sama, we're able to get held gently in Kami-sama's embrace. Kami-sama is always there for us. And we always need to be able to ones to actually move out of our way to actually go forth.
Alan Sensei, your voice. Alan Sensei, your voice. Alan Sensei, your voice.
Uh, Alan Sensei, you're not muted.
I apologize for interruption. You're good.
Sorry about that, everybody. But with faith in no other options, we actually seek out ourselves and seek out a power greater than ourselves. We seek out our higher power, our Kami-sama, our Tenchi Kane no Kami-sama, our divine parent in the universe. The thing is, Kami-sama never discriminates between whether or not our prayers. We can pray sometimes for things that might seem frivolous, but there are other times when we pray with desperation. The true meaning of heartfelt prayer is when we feel those moments, we feel our prayers with our entire hearts. That is what we should seek for each and every moment. Our founder, Ikeyami Koko Daijin-sama, suffered so many trials in his life. And through those hardships, he became the founder we know and love. But having faith didn't stop him from experiencing those trials and setbacks. Through every trial and setback, his faith was strengthened, just like how we are in our life nowadays. Through what's happening in the world and what's happened through all of time, every single one of us, big and small, have experienced desperation, heartbreak, and setbacks. Those hardships make us who we are today. I'd like to share a teaching with you. Well, several, but this first one is one of those things. It is in the Voice of the Universe, number 237. Even while practicing faith, you won't come across only good fortune. There'll be misfortune as well. When you meet misfortune, take it like your hand showing its backside. Receive divine messages for it to turn from the front side. According to a Japanese metaphor, the back of one's hand signifies misfortune, and the front side signifies good fortune. I'd like to take this moment to begin to tell you that even though we experience hardships, in hindsight, we oftentimes see that those hardships are actually really good for us. Things that we once were denied, we realized that it was the best thing that could have happened to us. Through those hardships, bad times, we strengthen ourselves. We go forth into the future and actually try everything we possibly can to make sure that we survive. And I think that's actually really strong for all of us as a people. We can't just have good times. Although that would be really nice, good times are not what develops faith. Suffering, hardships, those help develop faith and they strengthen us. With every setback we receive, we turn towards Kami and we turn inside of ourselves. And Konko Daiji sama, his spirit, his Mitama, is always there to guide us. Just saying the divine name helps bring that to the forefront. Our prayers, every time we do them, makes sure that we are strengthened. And with every moment when we have those hardships, our strength continues to grow. Being faithful, it does not necessarily mean that only good things will happen. Actually, the exact opposite. Through faith, Through our faith, we will always be tested because we are humans living a human experience. And that's a good thing because that makes us actually learn and grow. Every hard tree that grows in this world suffered a weathering hard storm. And sometimes those trees get struck by lightning and then they still flourish. For every forest floor that gets set ablaze, new growth happens. Hardships bring us back to peace, and that peace helps us grow. If we have never experienced hardships in our life, we could become arrogant. We could decide that we don't need kami-sama. But through those hardships, we realize that we will always require kami-sama. And kami-sama will never let us down. There is a teaching that states that when kami-sama sees his children suffering more, he tries to reach out to them more to help them more. And that's something that I feel as though is really important for us too. Faith through hardships. I asked you today to not pray to not have hardships. I ask you to pray that your faith is strengthened through every single one of your hardships, that you take that as a golden opportunity to grow, to learn, to feel more towards our parent Kami-sama. And on this day at the Ikami Honko Daijin Grand Ceremony, I want you to remember that our founder, our faith, how this all came to be, was through a very long series of hardships. And Iyami Konko Daijin Sama, our founder, never gave up. So for each and every one of you, I want you to remember you don't have to give up, and actually never do. Strengthen your faith, allow it to grow, allow it to be a beacon of light for others experiencing suffering. Be unwavering, be undaunted. Remember, you don't walk alone in any part of your life. You are always walking beside the Mitama of your past and Kami-sama. Together, we will always grow forward. There's another teaching I would like to share with you on that subject. It says, the more fervent your faith, the more you will be tested. Having tests is having divine blessings. For each time we go through a hardship, we are granted a divine blessing. And what we do with gratitude will determine whether or not that is a misery or a blessing. There are times that we think something is really bad that happens, but in the end, it's for the best. We could lose a job and turn around and get one that we've never even thought possible. Every closed door for us in our lives is leading us farther and greater towards something amazing for us. So don't look at your hardships, your sickness, all the pains that are suffering in your life. Don't look at them just as misfortunes and that you're cursed. You're not. You're undergoing trials, and those trials are helping you grow farther in faith. I want us all to take this time to put our hands on our heart and feel it beating. For every time we take that heartbeat, we're moving closer to Kame-sama. That heartbeat that sometimes stutters, that is ever going forward, even through trials, ever since we were born, helps us grow, whether we've had hardships or not. And we all have. Take those setbacks and grow with them. Grow farther in faith. Grow farther with coming. Thank you.
Thank you, Ren.
Thank you.
I saw.